let's fix this. Okay.
Hey everybody, it's Lindsay and
Bri.
And we are back. We've been reunited, and we hit 300 subscribers on this channel last week, I think it was. And so in my last video, I put out a call and said, we welcome your questions. So we had some questions in the comments, and we had a couple private messages, so we're going to get to your questions in this video. So thank you to those of you who asked us these questions. Thank you to everybody who subscribes to this channel. And anything else?
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. So,
and thanks for taking it easy on the questions.
You think they took it easy on the questions?
There
were some intense questions here.
Yeah.
So, let me get to these questions. So, our first question comes from one of my very favorite subscribers who lives in Iceland. And I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Is it Asia? What's your guess? I'm sorry. We're so North American, it's embarrassing.
Know. It's terrible.
Okay.
But thank you.
But thank you. So she asks, what are your religious beliefs, if you have any? And when meeting very religious people, how have they reacted to you being gay? And she knows some Mormons, or she watches a lot of YouTubers who are religious, and she'd like to have discussions with them about this. And I thought this question was really thoughtful, and we could probably do an entire video on this, because it's it's one of those questions that you can't really answer on the surface level. I mean, I guess you could, but then it wouldn't really be myself, so.
Well, she doesn't do surface.
I don't. So that's a very good question, or questions, I should say. Do you want to go first, since I'm doing all the talking?
Wow. Okay. On this one, no, I don't.
Okay, I'll go first then. You really don't want to? Okay. So I grew up in a very small, conservative Christian town, and I always tell people that there are as many churches in that town as there are bars. So it was. I grew up loosely Lutheran. I mean, I went to Sunday school and we went to church, but I wasn't raised in a particularly religious home. When I first came out, I think there was some concern from family members about whether or not I would burn in hell for all of eternity, but I think that they've gotten over that. At least I think so.
Well, I still encounter people, not necessarily I still encounter, and I'm not going to say who, but there are people that I have to, don't be sorry for touching me. There are people that I know of in my life, they're indirectly in my life, but they're still in my life, and I have to see them on different occasions, and they do not agree at all with homosexuality. They absolutely think that I'm going to burn in hell. They're staunchly...
Are they Catholic? Or?
Yes,
okay,
staunchly religious. And you know who this is.
I know who it is, but
okay.
Yeah.
They're staunchly religious, and when we're at places, and when we're in the same areas or the same gatherings, let's say, I am usually isolated from them. They don't speak, and that's fine, because I don't want those people in my life, and I certainly don't want them in my daughter's life.
Is it because they think, like, I thought that Christianity was all about loving your neighbor, whether they sin or not?
Well, it depends on what type of Christianity. Like,
right.
There's people that claim to be Christian who, are anti-abortion but pro-death penalty. So
right. Yeah.
This is like a whole level of...
yeah, this could be like hours long video with a really good discussion. But yeah, so okay.
So there's a lot, but it basically when I encounter people like that, I'm not going to engage somebody or try to change their religious views, because that's not... I just don't want to. I was mostly raised kind of Catholic, loose Catholic.
You went to Catholic school
for a little bit, and
yeah,
didn't pan out for me. But I also had a mom who was very supportive and open, and so that worked.
Yeah, I do have people in my life who consider themselves to be Christian, and I actually haven't met any resistance or they've never said anything negative to me about me being gay. In fact, I have a friend who is a practicing Catholic, and she's never been anything but loving to me about it, and I think that's what real Christianity looks like, is loving the person whether they are sinning or not, because don't Christians believe that we're all sinners?
Yes.
So yeah.
I had an encounter with, when I was younger and we lived in Topeka, Kansas, I had an encounter with the Phelps family, and they called me a dyke before I even knew. So
they were right. Yeah,
they were right, but that's still like,
yeah. My aunt is actually a Lutheran preacher, and she has been also nothing but loving to me from the moment I came out many years ago. And I mean, she has actually encouraged me to come back to the church and get married in the church. She wants to be, I don't know if she wants to officiate my wedding or something, but anyway, she says that Jesus loves everybody, including the gays. So, but I don't know I know some Jewish people, but Jewish people are, I think, largely a lot more open than Christians and more loving and accepting. I in my experience, Jewish people are not homophobic. Maybe some Orthodox Jews, I'm not sure, but I don't know that many. And then I know some Muslims here in Toronto. I believe that Toronto is the most diverse city in the world, and because of that, tolerance is higher than you would get in small towns or even a smaller city in the States. And so I've never encountered any homophobia from Muslims or Christians here, but it's a completely different world in the United States, I think, in the small town.
Yeah.
And whether or not we're religious, that could be a whole different video. But you want to go first? So.
I don't subscribe to, let's say, a formal religion. Yeah. I don't pray to any. I mean, I pray, but I pray like more spirituality and more for goodness and for love and kindness and
your religion is love.
Yeah.
I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual. In fact, many years ago, I kind of had an awakening of sorts, and maybe this is a separate video for you guys, that kind of opened up my mind and my heart to spirituality, and I started a website, thedailyAwe.com. I'll put the link in the description for you guys.
You should definitely go check it out.
I write about spirituality, intuition, and that sort of thing. So I don't have a religion, but I'm very spiritual. I believe in something bigger. I think that we all carry God, or we're sparks of the universe. And so I don't believe in a punitive God. I don't believe in a patriarchal type of religion where there's a man that looks over everybody and decides whether you're good or bad. I just think that I just try to believe in, I don't know, how do I word this? I'm a much better writer than I am speaker, so just go to the website, thedailyAwe.com. And I also have a Facebook page, so if you don't want to read a blog, you can just like the Daily Awe on Facebook, and you can see my posts on there. I try to post a few times a week, so check that out if you're interested in what type of spirituality I practice. I just try to, as corny as it sounds, what?
I love you.
I love you too. One of my, I guess you could say mantra or mantra, how do you say that word? Mantra is just to do all things with love, and I think that if I had to sum up my religion, it would be that. And I don't always do things with love. I'm not perfect, but I try.
Right.
Yeah.
Do I tell the plant story here?
You can tell the plant story if you want.
Okay, yeah. I'll try to do it justice here. But one of the first things that I was attracted to was that she was a really great mom. And
that's how we met, like through our mom blogs.
Right. So I knew she was a great mom, and she told me the story about how she wanted to teach Evelyn about love, and she did it through plants. Basically, showing Evelyn that if you show love and kindness to the plants, they'll grow quicker and fuller than the plants that you don't show the same love and kindness to. So she did this experiment. She's telling me this story, or maybe you even blogged about it.
I may have blogged about it.
But I know you told me the story in an email. Yeah. And I was like, this. Yeah.
I just so if you put love into a person or a plant, and let's just go with plants this time. I love plants. I'll put the link into, Evelyn and I actually did a house tour a couple months ago about all the plants in our house, and she introduced the YouTube community to our plants, so I'll put the link to that video in the description. But I try to teach her, if we put love into these plants, they thrive and they grow, and just I guess that's kind of like what I want her to learn, not just about love, but at life. Whatever you put into it, you can see it blossom and come to life.
If somebody asks me to explain what kind of mom she is, that's the story that I use to start my...
Really?
Yeah, because I think that says so much about what's important and the things that you value and teach.
What are some things you guys enjoy doing together?
We love to create together. and
Yeah,
most
we
of
do.
I say our palette is our laptops because we do a lot of writing.
Yeah.
She's a phenomenal writer, and
So is she.
if you go to the Daily Awe, you'll see like she's.
Don't judge my writing on that website, please. That's stuff that I
It's
wrote
actually
a long time ago.
It's actually the.
I think I'm a better writer than I was back then.
It's true.
So.
You are. But I can't open up my emails to show you. But so we do some writing together, and it's been really a lot of fun. We wrote a children's book.
We write stories like we've written some chapter stories together just for fun. Like I write a chapter, she writes a chapter. We wrote a children's book. I always put the link in the description of our videos. So if you have a kid, or even if you don't, you can go on Amazon. It's a Kindle book right now, and buy it for is it like $1 or $2 or something.
Based on our two daughters.
Yeah, it's based loosely on a story from Evelyn and Serenity. We've created a couple websites together. These are just growing. They're changing. We're kind of trying on different things to see what works for us.
Right.
And
so that's been one of the greatest things, because I always I like to write and I like to create, but I never really felt connected to it quite the same as I do doing it. And I never thought I'd want to share that journey of creativity, but I actually really love sharing it with you.
Yeah. And Bri's a poet. She writes poems of all different sorts, and I think I've talked about that in previous videos. So
kind of like Roses Are Red, Violets Are
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. She's written like books of poems. She should be published. One day that's gonna happen.
She's
Are you number one fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are. Love you.
We like to play Scrabble together. We like to have fun. We like to laugh together. We laugh all the time. I mean, she's so fun. Bri is the funniest person I know, and I know a lot of people. Nobody has ever made me laugh the way she does. She's funny. So we like to play Scrabble at night. We like to. What else do we like to do? We just like to be together. Everything feels better and happier with Bri.
Yeah.
We do read a lot. Like if I read something online, I might send it to her and then we talk about it, or we might, like when we talk on the phone every night, I might read her a section of an article and then that spurs a conversation, that sort of thing.
We solve the world's problems.
We do.
Some of our nighttime conversations.
We also consider ourselves to be relationships experts, so we're always
send us your relationship questions.
Send us your relationship questions.
We'll be happy to.
We'll answer them. Yeah. Anyway, what do we like to do together? Everything.
Yeah.
So we have a question from Robert. Robert says, do you plan to move in with your girlfriend, and where would you live, in the U.S. or Canada? Thank you, Robert, for your questions and support. Robert has been very supportive, so shout out to Robert. Thank you for all your love and your online friendship. Yeah.
Thank you. And this is a long question too.
Yeah.
Us, because there's a lot of layers to.
This is probably a separate video that we have to make about this.
Briefly.
Because
it's complicated.
It's complicated, as you might imagine. You take two people who have ties where they are.
Careers.
Yeah, we have careers, we have families. I mean, people don't realize, I don't think that, I don't, my family, like my blood family lives in Pennsylvania, but I have a family here too in Toronto that I've had for 20 years. So I do have roots here, even though it may not seem obvious because they're not in videos, but
I have a daughter,
yeah.
and I have shared custody.
Yeah.
She has autism,
yeah.
which makes traveling and spending more time as a foursome complicated, because she isn't quite ready for airplanes yet. We're working on that, but a lot of things are more challenging for her than other kids.
Right.
So those things have gotten in our way a little bit.
Yeah. One of the things that, like, my chief complaint about this is that we can't really spend a lot of time together, like long periods of time together. I see a lot of people in long distance relationships who don't have kids and they can spend weeks together, and we can't have that because, one, we have kids, and two, we have jobs. So it's hard to find ways to spend extended stays together, but we're working on that too.
Right. So that's a work in progress, Robert. Thank you.
Yeah, but yes, the answer is yes. We absolutely do plan to live together. I don't want to do this long distance thing forever. It's sometimes it's really unbearable, actually.
Right.
So.
Most of the time, it's really unbearable.
Yeah. The only time it's not unbearable is when we're together.
That's correct.
Otherwise, it sucks.
Talk to us during the days that we're not together and we're two sad sacks.
Yeah. Is there anything about the other that gets on your nerves?
Nope.
You answer first.
The answer is no. Nothing.
She wouldn't even say if there was anything.
Have you ever Have I ever been annoyed with you?
Have you ever been annoyed with me? I don't know. Have you? You tell me.
I am about to be. It's a first.
We have never actually had a fight, which is so weird.
We've had some moments.
Yeah, but we've never had a fight.
No, never had a fight. No.
Is that weird? Tell the truth.
We talk a lot though.
Yeah.
Like we talk like we are bottlers. Like we bottle our feelings up, but with each other,
we don't.
No,
we
it's
don't
all
do
out
that.
there, like splattered out everywhere. Like I'm bawling.
And maybe
whatever.
that's partly why we don't fight, because we talk about everything a lot.
And even the hard stuff, like the stuff about us living together and about having two very different kids and having all these
different
complications in life.
The different challenges we talk about. I think a lot, not a lot, but we talk about it anyway.
Yeah. And if there is anything, like maybe she says something that makes me,
that might hurt your feelings, or it might be a little bit.
We'll end up exhausting that too. Like we talk about it. Eventually, we'll laugh about it.
Yeah.
So I think our communication, and that's been, you can't do long distance if you're not a good communicator. It's just not going to pan out. And I knew from day one that I was going to be different with you, and I was going to be an open book, and that's the way we've been.
Yeah. Oh no, she doesn't really get on my nerves at all. We don't live together, so come back to me when we're living together and ask the same question. There was a socks on the floor issue. That didn't get on my nerves. She left her socks on the floor, like crumpled up in a ball. That would get on my nerves if we were living together. But right now, everything she does is cute, so you know how it is.
Can we save this?
We can save this. You can watch it over. I don't like to be told what to do. She learned that really quickly.
Speaking of getting on each other's nerves, you do not tell this one what to do. Like, not even if it's for her own good. Like, you should go to bed early tonight. You can't.
You can't make me go to bed. You don't get to say when I go to bed.
I said something like, "I'm gonna let you go to bed early tonight" or something like that. You don't have a say in when I go to bed. Yeah, I realize that. I know. Sorry. She is Miss Independence over here. Mm-hmm. In fact, like, I couldn't even do your dishes for you.
No, but you do now.
Yeah. That was almost our first fight.
It was hard for me to accept help from Bri at first. So hard. Because I was used to doing everything by myself, for one. For two, we were just very new, so I didn't want you to, like, I don't know.
Do your dishes.
Yeah. And it was your first time here. I wanted you to just be my guest, but...
I was never just your guest.
No. But I accept help from her now.
So, thank you guys for your questions, and thank you for tuning in again. If you have more, let us know.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Give this video a like so that YouTube thinks that we're a good channel, whether we are or not. And, yeah, if you have any other questions, we welcome your questions at any time. Even if we're not doing a formal Q&A, we will get you your answers as soon as we can.
Check out the links below.
Mm-hmm. Check out the links below. And we're always looking for video ideas. So if you have anything that you want to see us doing, let us know. We're not gonna do like eating challenges just because I don't know. It doesn't really seem like something that we would do.
No.
And I see some couples doing like the touch my bot. What's the touch my bot? Yeah. We're old. You have to keep in mind we're in our late 30s, so we're not going to play these games that like 23-year-olds are playing.
Right. It's true.
We're just going to sit here and talk to you and laugh at ourselves and feel awkward.
And it's not that we don't enjoy food. I just enjoy it off camera.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, thank you, everybody. What else? Anything? Nope. Thank you.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.